Something strange is happening in Cleveland. Quarterback drama? Sure, that's nothing new in the NFL. But this feels different. The name Shaduer Sanders has suddenly become the most electric and controversial name in football, and not because of highlight reels or touchdowns, but because of everything happening behind the scenes. One day, he's buried on the Browns' depth chart, a talented rookie with back tightness. The next, rumors explode that the New York Jets are fighting to bring him to the Big Apple badly. And in between all that, coaches giving robotic answers, fans in full revolt, and footage of teammates erupting on the sideline like pressure cookers finally blowing steam. At the center of it all is head coach Kevin Stefanski, a man who might be calm on the outside, but whose bizarre decisions and cryptic pressers have fans questioning everything from the quarterback rotation to whether or not Shedeur was blackballed from the start. So what's really going on? Was this promising QB unfairly silenced before he ever got a chance? Did the Browns try to turn a fifth-round pick into second-round ransom? And are the Jets really about to swoop in and turn chaos into a comeback story? Because this isn't just about football anymore, this is the NFL's biggest drama. A wild mix of egos, secrecy, and one quarterback caught in the middle of a franchise that's burning from the inside out. Let's break down the full story and what could happen next. It started like most NFL bombshells do: a whisper, a tweet, a source close to the situation. No one took it seriously at first, just more online noise in a season already drenched in quarterback chaos. But then, the story grew legs faster than anyone expected. Shaduer Sanders might be headed to the New York Jets. Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Social media lit up like wildfire. Talking heads debated it live on air. Fans from Cleveland to NYC jumped into the madness with hot takes, trade machine screenshots, and endless speculation. The Jets, fresh off yet another quarterback meltdown, were suddenly painted as desperate, wounded, and just hungry enough to gamble on a name that sounds more Hollywood than Huddle. But here's what made the rumor different. It wouldn't die. Instead of fading like most mid-season gossip, it kept gaining momentum. Then came the juice. Multiple outlets started reporting that insiders within the Jets front office weren't just interested, they were actively targeting Shaduer Sanders. Not as a backup, not as a project, as a potential savior. And the Browns? They didn't deny anything. If anything, they added fuel to the fire. Head coach Kevin Stefanski faced the media like a man holding a grenade with the pin halfway out, calm, vague, and completely unconvincing. Asked directly about Shaduer's status, his answer was a masterclass in non-answers. "We're focused on what's in front of us," he said. Whatever that means. Trade talks, locker room tension, media storm, just like that, a backup rookie QB was the hottest storyline in football. The NFL's rumor mill had officially gone nuclear. And everyone wanted to know one thing. What did Cleveland know? And why weren't they telling the full story? If there's one thing Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski has mastered this season, it's saying everything without saying anything. During what should have been a routine press conference, things went off script the moment someone brought up Shaduer Sanders. Instead of clarity, reporters got a verbal maze of half-sentences, awkward pauses, and coach speak so foggy it felt like filibuster theater. "We're focused on the group we have today. Shaduer's dealing with some things. Medically, we'll see. Right now, we're making decisions that give us the best chance to win." Translation? Absolutely nothing. Stefanski answered every question like it was a trap, like acknowledging the elephant in the room might cause the walls to crumble. And maybe they would have. Because under that cool exterior, there's a storm brewing, and anyone who's watched even a few snaps of Browns football knows the dysfunction's no longer hiding. To make things worse, fans aren't buying the back injury narrative one bit. Shaduer suited up, he warmed up, he reportedly expected to play, but then suddenly sidelined. Didn't look hurt, didn't act hurt, and when asked if sitting out was his call, he simply said, "Wasn't my choice." Boom! That one sentence said more than Stefanski had in 3 pressers combined. The media caught it. Fans ran with it. Online message boards turned Stefanski into a meme, calm-faced, headset-wearing, and completely detached from the reality imploding around him. Even local reporters started to wonder if something more personal was happening behind the scenes because it wasn't just one odd decision. It was a pattern. Shaduer not playing. No explanation. No urgency. Just a coach treating questions like landmines and smiling as if nothing's wrong. But by now, everyone knew something was wrong. And the next piece of the puzzle would raise even bigger questions about what Cleveland is doing and why they're doing it. Sometimes the truth doesn't come in a press release. It shows up in body language, blown tempers, and sideline meltdowns. That's exactly what happened when Cleveland's carefully packaged chaos finally burst open. And it wasn't subtle. Myles Garrett, a captain, a franchise face, erupted on the sideline like a man who'd finally had enough. Helmets flew. Coaches got barked at. Cameras caught it all. In a sport built on composure, Garrett's explosion wasn't frustration over one bad series. It looked like the crack in the dam. And fans watching couldn't help but connect the dots. Moments earlier, Shaduer Sanders was noticeably absent from the field again. The excuse? A mysterious back injury. But here's where things got weird. Shedeur had suited up. He'd gone through warm-ups. All signs were pointing toward him being ready, even expecting to step in. Then, out of nowhere, he's yanked. Not active. No announcement. No warning. And here's the kicker. In the locker room afterward, Shedeur made it clear this wasn't his call. "I felt fine," he reportedly said. "It wasn't my decision." That changed everything. Because now, this wasn't just a quarterback being sat for medical reasons. It was starting to look like a choice. Strategic. Political. Maybe even personal. The team's prized young quarterback, benched without cause, while chaos brews on the field and leadership keeps dodging behind vague answers and focus on the now nonsense. Inside the locker room, insiders say confusion is spreading like wildfire. Veterans are questioning decisions. Younger players are whispering about double standards. And all of this while fans are watching their team collapse and asking one pressing question: why is Shaduer not playing? What used to be silence is now starting to sound like sabotage. And the theory that was once too crazy to say out loud was suddenly on everyone's lips. Was Shaduer Sanders being blackballed? At first, it sounded like conspiracy talk. Fans speculating, Reddit threads unraveling, journalists dancing around hints. But as the weeks dragged on, and Shaduer Sanders kept holding a clipboard instead of a football, one ugly word started making its way into the conversation: blackballed. It's a heavy accusation in pro sports, one that fans don't just throw around lightly. But in Shaduer's case, it wasn't coming from thin air, it was coming straight from the patterns. Think about it. This is a quarterback with elite college stats, serious leadership presence, and the kind of natural charisma NFL franchises usually drool over. But in Cleveland, he was buried, prioritized below less impressive names, blocked at every turn. Barely given reps while the offense sputtered and his name kept trending online, not for plays made, but for plays he wasn't allowed to make. And then came the jaw-dropper. Rumors surfaced that Cleveland had slapped a second-round price tag on Shaduer for a potential trade. A fifth-round rookie, barely played, suddenly worth a second-rounder? Fans weren't buying it. You don't bench a quarterback for being too raw, then turn around and ask for prime trade value unless he's more dangerous off the field than on it. Not because he's causing problems, but because he's challenging the wrong people. And here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Insiders whispered that Shaduer was never the coach's guy, that his spot on the roster came from upstairs ownership, front office, marketing, that Stefanski never wanted him, that this wasn't just a coaching decision, it was a silent standoff. And Shaduer, he was the face of it. Too confident, too vocal, too hard to control. It's been said the NFL will accept almost anything but authenticity that threatens power. So now the question isn't if Shaduer was ignored, it's whether Shaduer was strategically erased by people paid to protect talent, not bury it. If you want to know how chaotic a franchise really is, just wait until they name their price. Because when the whispers turned into real trade talks, and the New York Jets finally picked up the phone to ask about Shaduer Sanders, the Cleveland Browns gave an answer no one saw coming. Second-round pick? Let that sink in. The same Shaduer they've refused to play. The same one they claimed wasn't healthy. The rookie taken in the 5th round who's barely touched the field. Suddenly worth day 2 gold? The moment that leaked, the NFL community collectively said, "Wait, what?" Fans didn't know whether to laugh, rage, or just apologize to their brain cells. Twitter exploded with takes like, "If Shaduer isn't good enough to back up Dylan Gabriel, why is he worth a second? Is this incompetence or a cover-up?" Someone in Cleveland must think he's a lot better than they're letting on. And it wasn't just fans. Reporters, analysts, even former players started weighing in. Some called it a bluff-typical front office posturing. Others saw it as something much worse, proof that the Browns were holding Shaduer hostage. Because if they really believed he couldn't play, they'd let him walk. But if there's even a chance he could become a feature NFL QB, they wanted to make sure they got paid for letting that story happen somewhere else. The Jets, meanwhile, weren't laughing. They were listening. They were watching the tape. A broken quarterback room, constant injuries, and a season slipping away. This wasn't just desperation, it was survival. And when they looked around at what was available, only one name looked fresh, untapped, and potentially electric in the right system: Shaduer Sanders. New York had the spotlight, Cleveland had the leverage. And the fans? They had front-row seats to one of the strangest quarterback standoffs in recent league memory. And somehow, it was about to get even weirder. If chaos breeds opportunity, then the New York Jets are standing at the eye of a perfect storm. Their season has been a roller coaster of collapsed expectations, crumbling confidence, and quarterback after quarterback falling short of the moment. Zach Wilson couldn't lead. Aaron Rodgers went down early. And no matter who lined up under center, the story stayed the same. High hopes, followed by heartbreak. Now imagine you're in that front office. You've got a team stacked with talent, a nasty defense, playmakers on offense, loyal fans deprived of postseason success, and no one who can throw the football consistently on Sundays. The window isn't just open, it's rapidly closing. And right in the middle of that desperation, the name Shaduer Sanders keeps coming back like a song stuck in your head. He's fierce, he's smart, confident, definitely, marketable, oh, absolutely. But more importantly, he's a mystery box, untapped potential, a rare chance to grab a quarterback that might have been buried by a broken franchise before he ever got a true shot to shine. The Jets know what that looks like, they've lived it for years. So when rumors surfaced that Shaduer could be had, not for nothing, but for the right price, the Jets took notice. And not just back office whispers. Reports suggest executives were actively watching Shaduer's tape, evaluating everything from footwork to field IQ, weighing the most important question in the NFL. What if we're the ones who unlock him? Forget the noise, forget the controversy. In the end, it comes down to this. The Jets need a spark. They need someone to pull their season off life support. And while established veterans might be safe bets, none of them move the needle like Shaduer. Why? Because if he's good, like really good, you're not just fixing this season, you're fixing the next 5 years. And just as important, Shaduer brings the full package. He's media trained, composed, cool under pressure. He grew up under Deion Sanders' spotlight and thrived in it. He knows how to handle the weight of expectations harder than it looks when you're the face of a franchise in New York City. Bright lights don't scare him. And let's be honest, the Jets front office knows they'd sell more jerseys overnight with Shaduer under center than they sold all season, especially if there's even a glimpse of hope behind his debut. But it's not just marketing. The real draw is football. They see the film, the touch passes, the movement in the pocket, the ability to read defenses with surprising clarity for a rookie. The arm? More than NFL ready. The confidence? Borderline dangerous. They're not looking for another placeholder. They're looking for a story. What if Shaduer Sanders, buried by the Browns, ridiculed by skeptics, benched by stubborn coaching marches into New York, and pulls off the impossible? What if he's not just hype, but the missing piece? For the Jets, that gamble could be everything. Sure, a second-round pick is steep. The price stings. But franchises don't turn around by playing it safe. Ask anyone in that building. Safe hasn't worked for the Jets in over a decade. Now, it's time to roll the dice. And Shaduer Sanders, love him or not, might just be the high-risk, high-reward move that turns a laughingstock into a comeback. The only question now, who blinks first? By now, every Browns fan in the country is split, and not just over Shaduer Sanders. They're fighting over their entire franchise identity. On one side, loyal believers in the system. Fans defending head coach Kevin Stefanski, arguing that football decisions are more complex than internet outrage, that maybe Shaduer is raw, maybe he isn't ready. Maybe the coaching staff knows something we don't. On the other side, absolute rebellion. These fans aren't just frustrated, they're furious. Furious at what they see as blatant mismanagement, wasted potential, and a young quarterback being held hostage by egos and internal politics. And for the first time in a long time, it's not Cleveland versus the opponent. It's Cleveland versus Cleveland. Fans versus front office. Stefanski versus the locker room. Chaos versus common sense. Because how do you justify this mess? The team has a revolving door quarterback carousel. Injuries, bad reads, dud drives, and still, Shaduer doesn't play a snap? The guy you drafted. The guy the fan base was fired up about. The only guy the media's even talking about when it comes to the Browns. And it's like he doesn't exist in your system. Worse? When asked directly, Stefanski and the front office give the same half answers they've been recycling for weeks. Back tightness. Not our focus right now. Team decision. But the fans aren't buying the script anymore. They've seen the video clips. They've seen Shaduer, suited up, warming up, ready to go. They've seen the offense fall apart without him. They've seen the body language, the finger pointing, the sideline blow-ups, the confused players. They've seen enough. Online forums are in full meltdown. Reddit's full of coaching conspiracy theories. Twitter, or what's left of it, is cooking up memes faster than the Browns can call plays. One meme shows Shaduer in Jets green with the caption, "Free the franchise." Another shows Stefanski calmly sipping coffee inside a burning building with the caption, "We're focused on the process." Even national media can't ignore it anymore. Sports talk shows bring entire segments just to ask one question. What the hell are the Browns doing? And the fan theories? They're everywhere. The front office never wanted Shaduer. He was ownership's pick. This is personal. Stefanski didn't approve the draft. They're trying to keep Shaduer's value down until after the deadline. The deeper you look, the more dysfunction you find. Players are giving vague interviews. Coaches are sidestepping questions like they're dodging laser beams. And all the while, Shaduer Sanders just waits. Not publicly complaining, not tweeting cryptic messages. Just waiting. Which honestly, somehow makes the tension worse. Because now it's not just about football. It's about respect. It's about principle. The fans aren't just asking Stefanski to make a quarterback switch. They're begging for accountability from a franchise that always seems allergic to it. Because whatever you believe, whether Shaduer's truly NFL ready or not, one fact is becoming painfully hard to ignore. The Browns look like they're hiding something. And this isn't just about losing games anymore. It's about losing the locker room, losing the future, and worst of all, losing the fans who've stuck by this team through decades of disappointment and finally feel like they're being played. And as pressure mounts from the stands to the boardroom, only one question matters now. What exactly is Kevin Stefanski protecting? Every NFL team has its identity. Some are aggressive. Some are calculated. Some are chaotic and know it. Then there's the Cleveland Browns, whose identity right now is summed up in one person, Kevin Stefanski. And if you're looking for a symbol of why the franchise feels completely rudderless at this moment, you don't need to look past his poker face. Because somehow, Stefanski has become the walking personification of everything confusing, contradictory, and maddening about this team. Game after game, press conference after press conference, fans ask for answers and get shrugs wrapped in buzzwords. We're just trying to maximize skill sets. We're staying efficient on early downs. We have a plan for every guy in the locker room. But here's what makes it infuriating. Nothing about the Browns looks efficient. There's no clear plan, and the only maximization happening is in unanswered questions, not player development. Ask Stefanski why Shaduer Sanders isn't playing? Not my focus right now. Ask him why sixth-string performances are getting starting reps over your most hyped rookie? We're just evaluating where we are as a team. It's like watching someone calmly explain a car is being tuned while it's literally on fire. Fans don't buy it. The media doesn't buy it. Even the players seem to be catching on. Because here's the thing, press conferences are supposed to reassure people. But every time Stefanski speaks, things get more unclear, not less. His answers don't calm the storm. They sound like a man trying to avoid saying the wrong thing while the house is collapsing down around him. Half the time, he looks like a shrug emoji in a headset. Calm voice. Zero urgency. Eyes darting away from tough questions. And that's fine until it starts feeling like he's doing it on purpose. Like rotating quarterbacks based on politics, not performance. Like ignoring a first-year QB out of pride. Like treating the most talked-about name on your roster like a PR liability. And if there's one thing NFL fans know, it's this. When a coach starts acting indifferent to chaos, it either means he's about to lose the locker room or he already has. The Shaduer situation has made all of this boil to the surface because it's not just that Stefanski benched him, it's the way he did it, the way he refuses to explain it, the way he smiles while fans rage and reporters dig. One ESPN analyst put it like this: "You'd think with everything going on, this guy would at least pretend like he's under pressure. But no, it's like he's already written How I Got Fired, the memoir, and he's just waiting to publish it." And maybe they're right. Because at this point, Stefanski doesn't look like a coach in control. He looks like a coach at war with his own building. A coach playing Dylan Gabriel in a game he's losing by 3 scores. A coach refusing to play Shaduer Sanders even once, even in garbage time, even when the fans are chanting for it. Why? No one knows, because Stefanski refuses to say. But actions speak louder than sound bites, and every choice he's made seems to say the same thing. This is personal. And if that's the case, then his calm, quiet demeanor isn't composure. It's denial. It's defiance. It's a slow-motion implosion happening behind a tight-lipped smile. So here we are. After weeks of silence, spiraling performances, and escalating drama, Shaduer Sanders has gone from late-round rookie to the most talked-about name in the AFC without ever starting an NFL game. The Browns are a mess. The Jets are desperate. And somehow, one young quarterback has turned this entire league-wide standoff into something bigger than football. Because this isn't just about play calling. This isn't about execution or injuries or back tightness. No, this is about perception, about control, about power and who gets to hold it inside a franchise. Shedeur doesn't say much publicly. He rarely tweets, doesn't rant in interviews, doesn't ask for sympathy. But under the surface, the noise is deafening. A divided locker room, a frustrated fan base, a head coach playing chicken with the future. And the Browns? They're currently sitting on a player they clearly don't want to use, but also refuse to give up, unless they get second-round value. It's not business, and it's definitely not football. It's something more personal. Stefanski's actions say it all. He doesn't see Shaduer as his quarterback. He never did. And that's what makes this whole saga so dangerous, because the second you start managing your roster out of ego, not evaluation, you've already lost. The only thing worse than wasting a talented player is knowing you have one and keeping him buried anyway. Meanwhile, the Jets are still watching. Their season is turning into a slow-motion implosion too. Their quarterbacks are floundering, the fan base is boiling over, and Shaduer Sanders keeps hovering on the edge of their radar, the one player who just might save everything. But Cleveland's price is still sky high. And each day that goes by, the tension gets worse. Will the Jets take the leap? Will the Browns back off their bluff? Or will this entire opportunity crumble under the weight of pride and stubbornness? Because at this point, it's not even about Shaduer's skill anymore. It's what he represents. To the Jets, he's hope. To the Browns, he's a problem they're afraid to admit they created. To Stefanski, he's a symbol of a battle he's quietly choosing to fight. And for fans, he's the story everyone secretly wants to see explode. The rookie, who might walk into the biggest media market in the world, take the field under the brightest lights in football, and prove all of them wrong on day one. Or maybe he never gets that chance. Maybe Stefanski keeps playing his game. Maybe the Browns dig in. Maybe the calls stop coming. And maybe Shaduer Sanders becomes just another name on a long list of quarterbacks who never got their shot, not because they couldn't play, but because they landed on the wrong team, at the wrong time, under the wrong coach. That's what makes this story so frustrating and so addictive. You can't predict the ending. You can only watch it unfold day by day, headline by headline, press conference by awkward press conference. So what does happen next? Does Shaduer change teams? Does Stefanski get fired? Do the Browns finally cave or double down? Nobody knows. But one thing's become painfully clear. The Browns aren't just wasting downs. They're wasting time. And maybe wasting something much bigger than that.